Alright, guys. Okay, so I want to talk about another part of healing, ladies, and this is tough work. Getting help for the trauma in your life is not for the weak, let me tell you that. It is for the strong. So, there was this girl in the class tonight, and she had said, I keep getting distracted. She had said, basically, something I think a lot of girls feel is, how can I forgive that guy for treating me like trash? How can I do that? And I think for her, she said it in a stronger way, like, how can I, forgive that effing whatever, kind of attitude. And, you know, I think it's true. I think there has to be forgiveness for everyone surrounding an abortion. When you have a guy who, for me, okay, not only did I feel tricked with the condom, but then when I was pregnant, I went through that pretty much by myself, okay? I didn't really have anybody. And this is why I feel like if I could help one girl, it would mean so much to me because um, where was he, right? Where was he? I was pregnant walking into the abortion clinic, by myself. I didn't have time to grieve that relationship that, the condom broke. I didn't have time to deal with everything. And I didn't have time really to deal with it like later when I was dragged over to his house. There was really no real conversation, right? So I didn't get to grieve the relationship. I didn't get to deal with any of it. And, where was he? Where was he? I'm pregnant and a pregnant woman has, you know, I didn't, I didn't acknowledge I was pregnant at the time, right? I was just a kid in trouble. But where was the father? Where was he, right? So to be treated like that from a guy, to be treated like trash, is just something that you have to go through and you have to forgive. And he was let off the hook completely. I mean, it was kind of like I think he just had to pay a certain amount of money, um, and he was let off the hook. There was, I think there were phone calls made like, your son did this to my daughter, and, we're not happy about it, but he was let off scot-free, right? So how does that affect us as women when we want, something dealt with and it's not even dealt with? Um, so you have to grieve that when a guy treats you like trash. And, he was nice in a sense, and that's why I dated him, but nice is not always nice, right? So I saw him years later in the grocery store, and this was like, 20 years later, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for everything that happened. And he's like, it was kid stuff. And I really felt a slap in the face, because it wasn't kid stuff. This was serious. There was our baby, right? And he didn't even acknowledge his son or daughter or anything. So he treated me like trash. And, now that I'm going through this divorce, it's kind of like it's real nice, right? Because you have another guy treating you like trash. And and what is really, I'm really not dealing with my husband. My goodness, my son is sick. He's in the bathroom if you hear him. Um so, when you have gone through an abortion and you have allowed your best friend, your husband, to be part of that and to open up to him and say, hey, when we were friends back in the day and he knew my boyfriend Randy and we all hung around together, like, at work, high school, all the same friends, all the same connections, not so much with Randy, but within our group, and then he's grafted in, and your husband knows him, and, Randy said in the grocery store, oh, Ben, he's a good guy, it's good that you're with him and everything. But when your best friend you have let in to know what you went through with and abortion and this guy who didn't treat you right, and then he comes along and he's, you shared something special. I mean, my husband was the first one I told about the abortion. And I remember we were sitting at the dining room table and he's like, "Oh man, sorry you went through that." And he's supposed to be your best friend and then he treats you like trash. It's just like, the same kind of feelings can come up. So, forgive everyone involved. I had to forgive the doctor. You do have to forgive the staff. You have to forgive, your boyfriend. You have to forgive. Because if you don't, you're going to hold on to it. So I was listening to a woman tonight who said whenever she saw a man with a leather coat, she would be triggered because that's what this guy wore, that she remembers him. And, there are those triggers. Like Randy had given me his class ring. We, at one point, thought we were going to be good to go for good, for life. So I wore his class ring. I wore his sweater. He was really good at basketball. I went to his games, cheerleading. Well, I was a cheerleader in middle school, and but I was at his games cheering him on and everything. And so, since then I have been down the road in Pittsfield where he lives or lived, where his family lived, where his sister lived. I knew his sister. And I've been down there again for the sake of memories. And, all those, when you go down there, you go back to where, a place that you were, all those memories come back. And maybe it was 2 years ago I went back over there and they hit you. And they hit you like you were there yesterday. So, healing is one of the best things you can do for yourself. You will have memories. It's not a one and done thing. I mean, one and done. You wish it could be one and done, but it's not. So all those, I remember going to his cousin's, Jason. I remember hanging out in Pittsfield. I remember the school. Just his father was a fire chief. I remember all these things. And, it seemed pretty solid, right? So, when you have to go through this, you have to forgive the guy who treated you like trash. You got to forgive him. You got to go through it. You got to go through the memories. Remember certain things. I remember he had like a huge Adam's apple on his neck. He just did. And, he was tall. And you got to go through all this stuff to heal. And, forgive him for treating you like trash. And that's something that can be something that really affects you in life. Like, I don't put up with stuff with my jobs. I don't put up with stuff. I don't put up with people trashing me or people mistreating me. And that can be tough, right? Because it happens a lot in the workplace. And I have a very high standard for how I like companies to run and how I like things to be done. But once you get trashed at work, it's just like, I'm done. I'm out of here. So you want to heal from that too. You want to heal from feeling disrespected. Okay, that's what I got, guys.